Hello, Ellie here with my sidekick Dobby, and I'm a little bit late, but it's now October, so it's time for my September wrap-up. I did a little bit better this month, but that's probably because there were some really good books that came out at the end of August and in September. I don't know, it's weird. I feel like I'm reading almost as much as I used to, but I'm not getting through as much. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna get into what I did finish this month. As always, I'm gonna start in order of when I finished each book. Let's get started. At the very end of August, this book came out and I started it. The Dazzling Tower by Catherine Mickey. This is the second book of the 1000th Floor series, and I was obsessed with the first book. It is just full of drama and wonderful. It is about 5 people that live in this tower that is now basically New York City. Instead of a city, they just have this huge tower that's miles long on the bottom, and it gets smaller as it goes up so that it can stay standing, and it has 1,000 floors. And the richer you are, the higher you live on the tower, and it's full of lies and drama. I do have a review for both the first book and I have a review for this one, so feel free to check those out. I gave this book 4 stars. I didn't like it quite as much as the first one, but I still did really like it. It was really good, but not quite as good as the first one. I'm really excited for the last one. I need it now, okay? Also at the end of August, I had started Replica by Lauren Oliver. It's the first book of a duology. The second book comes out in just a few days. As you probably know, I love Lauren Oliver. I love her books. This one is about 2 girls. One is a clone and the other is human, and it's in this world where clones have been brought up, but it's technically illegal to have them, but they exist in this one area and they are poorly mistreated, and I'm not going to say much else because spoilers. I gave Replica 4 stars. It was not my favorite of Lauren Oliver's books, but I did really enjoy it. I kind of wish I had read it, because part of the reason I hadn't already read this book is because you can read it several different ways, because it has the 2 girl stories in one book, but like one is in the front of the book and one is going backwards in the back of the book, where you like turn it around and read it the other way. And you can read it one story then the other, or reversed, or you can read it every other chapter. And I wanted to read it every other chapter, but once I hadn't read it for a while, I just was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, and however they do it is how I will listen to it. And I was hoping that they would do every other chapter, but they didn't. They did Lyra's book first and then Gemma's. Yeah, it felt like it was kind of missing something, because there were things that were mentioned that I think would have made more sense if I had seen the other parts of it that came before in the other story. And then I could have seen it the other way around too, where in Gemma's story they mentioned something that I knew about, but I wouldn't have known about if I had read that one first. And yeah, so if you have not picked up that book yet, I do recommend doing the every other chapter way, even though I guess you would need 2 bookmarks that way, but that's not a big deal, right? No, I don't think that's a big deal. Anyway, go read it though, it was good. And I'm excited for the next one, which comes out in a few days, even though I probably won't read it right away, because there are too many things. I'll talk about October in a minute. Next up, I read Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not gonna lie, I was not super excited for this book because it is about Kale, and he is not my favorite character in this series. It is the 6th book in the Throne of Glass series. The series was only supposed to be 6 books, but then this one became a full book instead of just a novella. And I was kind of upset because I would have rather had the last book in that series, but I have this. And it did make me like Kale more than I did before. He's still not my favorite, but I at least like understand him more, and he had some necessary growth in this book. So if you're somebody that's like, oh, I don't know if I really want to read it or not because it's about Kale and I don't care about him, just read it. There are also a lot of twists and turns that you like need to know before you read the last book in this series, so just read it. I gave it 4 stars, which for a Sarah J. Maas book is kind of low, but it was about one of my least favorite characters, and it earned 4 stars. So that's a good sign, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do have a book talk for this. Please check it out. Next, I listened to an audiobook called Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. I believe this was a debut novel, and and it didn't get as much attention as it should have. It was really good. It's about a girl who allegedly killed a baby when she was 9 years old and went to baby jail and is now at a group home. She actually gets pregnant and finds out that she will not be allowed to keep her baby because of her past. So she decides to reopen her case and is now talking more than she originally did. And it's interesting. There's a little bit of a controversy about the ending of the book, whether it makes it better or worse of a story. I'm not going to get into it because holy spoilers, but it was definitely a good read. I really enjoyed the journey of that story, and jury's still out on how I felt about the ending exactly. But read it, it was good. Next, I listened to another really quick audiobook called Speak by Laurie House Anderson, which I technically finished in October, but at the very beginning of October. This one is about a girl who called the cops at a party at the end of the last year, and everybody hates her for it, but there's a reason that she called the cops, and it's not what people think. And because of that experience, she's very quiet, she's not really talking to anybody, but she gets this assignment that she really embraces in her art class, and it's about getting a random object, in her case a tree, and trying to have the drawings that she does speak something. Yeah, a lot happens, and as the story progresses, you find out exactly what happened at that party and why she called the cops and how that is affecting her daily life from now on. And I really like the journey that she went on in this. I didn't give it a rating. I think it reminded me a lot of a Sarah Dessen book I also audiobooked over the summer, which wasn't very long ago. So I didn't know how to rate it because the stories were kind of getting mangled in my head because they were very similar in a lot of ways. So I didn't rate it for that reason. But it was good, so you could check it out for sure. The final book that I started in September and finished in October was Jane Unlimited by Kristen Cashore. This is one of the books that I got my hands on in June before it came out. It was finally released in September, which is why I finally read it. You can check out my interview with Kristen Cashore about this book from TheFandom.net. I don't think I'm doing a book talk for this because I didn't love it as much as I was hoping I would. This one is about a girl named Jane who goes to this mysterious house and has a decision to make at one point which way she goes. And every way she goes creates a different story on a different, in a different universe within a multiverse. And each one is a slightly different genre. When I first heard about this, I was thinking that they were going to be vastly different genres, and I was really excited. They're all still within the realm of mystery, it seems. There's an espionage one, a pure mystery one, there's a paranormal one, and I'm not huge in a lot of those genres, which I think is why I didn't love this. I also, because it's not a huge book, it is pretty thick, but with the fact that there are 5 stories in here, it's not huge, so none of the stories felt really complete, and I get that they were all kind of happening at the same time and in very similar worlds. So one thing that you learn in one is kind of in another one as well, but not fully, and I wish we had gone into more at the end because there were a lot left hanging in each of the stories. And there are things that I just didn't quite understand or didn't develop the way they should have, and I wasn't buying bits of this. I gave this 3 stars for the story, but then I gave it a 4th star for originality because it was definitely different and original, and that was cool. But I wish a lot of the stories had been expanded just a little bit more. That is it for the books I read in September. I also do need to talk about Warcross because that came out towards the beginning of September, and I have a book talk for that. Definitely check it out. I don't have my copy with me because I sent it to a friend to read, but it was really good, and I love that book. I love that book. If you have not read it yet, go read it. Check out my book talk. I can't say enough about how much I loved that book. Let's talk a little bit about October because it is now October. October 3rd was a few days ago, And there were 2 books I was really excited about for October 3rd. One is Things I'm Seeing Without You, which I got my hands on in June again. I'm still working my way through these books. I was hoping to read it before it came out, but I've been on a reading slump for months now, really. This came out, so you can check out my interview with TheFandom.net with Peter Bugnani about this book as well. Another book that came out on October 3rd that I have not gotten my hands on yet, though I might get it tomorrow depending if I have time to go meet the author or not, is Top 10, and I'm really excited about that book. Hopefully I will have that read by the end of this month so I can talk about it in my October wrap-up. Now we need to talk about October 10th, which is just a few days away, and 4 books I'm excited about come out. 4. Ringer, which is the 2nd book in the Replica series, comes out on October 10th, as does Turtles All the Way Down, which is the first book John Green has written in years, and I'm getting that on Wednesday, and I'm seeing John Green, and I'm really excited. Into the Bright Unknown, which is the last book in the Walk on Earth, A Stranger series by Ray Carson, and I'm so excited. I love that series. I don't usually like historical fiction with the mix of fantasy, but I love this one. And Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, which is another one of those June books I got that I wanted to read before it came out, but now I'm clearly not going to. But I'm excited. October 10th is going to destroy me. If I'm not alive at the end of October, it's because October 10th killed me. Anyway, I think that is it. I am really excited for this month. I'm hoping that all of those books coming out kind of light a fire under me and I actually read. I don't know why I haven't been that much, but that needs to change because there's a lot going on. Anyway, that is it for my September wrap-up. I'm excited to talk again at the end of October and throughout the month. Please do not forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Follow me on Twitter at ReaderGonnaRead, just like my YouTube channel. And click up here to subscribe. All right, I will talk to you next time. Goodbye! I had to redo my shelves for this one, and for this one. Hey, Ellie and Dobby here. Like the video? Come subscribe. Do it, right now. Click it.